Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of Plooza of 2022. Plooza will be back in January of 2023, but let us talk to our final guest. She actually makes our 84th guest for Palooza this year. So, a virtual round of applause for pro wrestler and amateur boxer Jess Barnes. Jess, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
You're welcome. so, um, woo. So,
Woo! Let's do our Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo!
um, strutting and profiling. All right. So, I have talked to you many a times. Via through Cameo and through Messenger. And for your career, I know how much wrestling matters to you. I know it's your love. um, so I kind of need to know, like, who's the inspirational wrestlers that maybe got you into wrestling?
China and Awesome Kong. Watching the Attitude Era, that was the area I watched. Because, they always had, and no disrespect to the Playboy Bunnies, but they always had the skinny blondes. And I'm like, I'm just not that. I've always been a bigger girl. And just seeing China come out, and I was like, wow, she is different. So, and then, ODB just, and I was like, you know what, maybe I got a shot at this. But yeah, that's where it started. Fourth grade, fell in love, hooked ever since.
There you go. I actually met China. I did.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I did.
I wish she was still here.
I met her at Steel City Con, and she talked to me. And what was great was she asked like a lot of questions, which I was not expecting. I wasn't expecting, because sometimes you go to those celeb encounters, they'll say a few things and sign your picture, and like you're on your way. So she asked where I was from, how long I was staying here, what did I like about wrestling, how long have I been watching wrestling, um, and she I remember I made her laugh because the person who was handling, she only wanted to I think only take one picture, because they don't like to take as many pictures, because they're trying to the dinero, so. And the thing was,
No.
this is before digital phones, so we're talking click click with the old school camera. And she's all like, I don't know how to work this. And I was like, hey, who do I sound like? I don't know how to work it. And so she started laughing and everything like that. And then, it was like, take the picture. And I go, I think she should take it again, right? And so like I finagled that into like another picture, but I'll have to show you that. We're given the peace sign. But yeah, I always enjoyed China. I loved her in D Generation X. Yes, I enjoy Mamacita. Her with Eddie Guerrero. Eddie was one of my
Oh, I
favorite.
wish he was still here too. I wish I
Yes,
could have met him.
yes. I never met him, but I thought that they were a good pair together. Um, I like that she was kind of tough, and I like that he was, very technical, kind of sneaky, but also very comical at times too. So
He was
um,
a lovable heel.
he was. He'd be like, "Mamacita, what do you say?"
Oh, my me.
Yes, but and Awesome Kong. I've never met Awesome Kong, but I have seen her matches. I remember her and Gail Kim when they first fought. I remember Taylor Wilde when she fought Awesome Kong, and nobody thought anybody could beat Awesome Kong, and it was Taylor Wilde. So I have those favorite wrestlers. I'm very old school. Undertaker's one of my favorites. I always loved Undertaker. DDP was another one. I used to be doing the diamond cutter all the time and everything. Yes, bang, yes. So DDP, The Rock. The Rock is always one of my favorites.
Can you
I
smell?
no.
I cannot do that one eyebrow thing.
Yes.
Well, Dan the man.
I love the catchphrases and the silky pajama shirts. I always wore. But The Rock and Mankind, Rock and Sock, one of my favorite tag teams. So, have you had that dream opponent or your favorite opponent yet?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it was China, but she's no longer with us. Nia Jax, Piper Naveen. I think she's is she do a drop still, or did they change her name back?
They they're like probably debating. Okay, this week it's Piper. Next week it's
You know, either in the heavyweight, super heavyweight division. So just to
yeah,
like, I don't know. I just love wrestling.
yeah. So
It's brawling time.
yeah, that's what's up. Uh, and our truth always cracks me up too. He's hysterical. I just love all his stuff, especially when he had the conspiracy theory and he thought everybody was against him and he was talking to an invisible child that wasn't there. So he's another one. Stone Cold, The Rock, Mick
Oh
Foley.
yeah, my son loves like Will Broken Skull Ranch. My son loves Steve Austin.
Oh yeah.
And Dusty Rhodes. I forgot about Dusty Rhodes. That would probably be my favorite male one, and then obviously Stone Cold.
Yep. I just remember, I don't know if you've seen this interview, but it's Stone Cold interviewing Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman is talking about the Dangerous Alliance, and they have to bring in Stunning Steve Austin, and he does and he goes, "How are you gonna tell me about this kid that you?" I like him in the Dangerous Alliance there, but this kid, I knew the next big star was from Texas. So I was always a fan of was the Dream. I liked wrestlers like the Big Boss Man, rest in peace, Gold Dust, and I'd probably say one of the nicest ones is Francine from ECW.
No, yeah, I hear she's amazing. I've never met her in person.
Oh, I have. She's like,
Look
that's
at
Dan the
you.
man.
Heck yeah.
And I'm like, yes. But so were you a fan of always WWE, WCW, NWA, ECW,
Oh,
TNA?
well, obviously, I
You were
started
like
off
all
watching
over.
ECW.
What's that?
ECW. I started off watching ECW, and there was,
Yes.
I mean, my neck of the woods, it was more ECW. I'm for sure you too, right?
Yeah, it was interesting because like the first time I bought a DVD, actually in Blockbuster when they still sold stuff, and
I
still
remember those days, but if anybody asks, I'm 21.
yeah. If I drop my Blockbuster card, they're like, "Oh, okay, you're good." So, I think I want to say it was Heat Wave or November to Remember, and I watched Jerry Lynn fight Rob Van Dam. That's like one of the first matches I saw. Yes, the whole effing show, Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. I watched him, and I didn't know about the brutality and the bloodshed because one of the bonus matches was Bill Alfonso versus Beulah McGillicuddy in a hardcore match, and she just beat the tar out of him with a frying pan, and he was like all blood, and I go, this seems to have gone very wrong for this man.
No, I see a lot of people use that on the indies, and I was like, I wonder where y'all got that from.
Exactly. But yeah, that was the first time that I seen that. I'm like, that guy needs some blood right away. He lost a lot. So, um, so ECW. Did you eventually venture on to the other wrestling shows?
Obviously, yeah, WWE with the women. Because I mean, obviously ECW had some too, but then like the Attitude Era,
Oh yeah,
like Generation X, like
yep. I think of when I started getting into it. You have your Lita, your Trish Stratus, your Molly Holly, um, Jacqueline. Yeah, I met Jacqueline. Jacqueline's a sweetheart.
wow, you
Um,
have met a lot of people. I'm very
yeah.
impressed, Dan the man.
I met a lot of them at the gathering in Charlotte. So um, let me see. I'm trying to think. Tori Wilson. I can't really think of. Someone that I always did like. I know she doesn't do too many appearances. Is Ivory? I always liked Ivory too, um, especially when she was evil Ivory and the Right to Censor. Found her to be very annoying. And then when she fought China at the Royal Rumble, that's where she hit her neck. And then she fought at WrestleMania and beat the crap out of her. So I don't know if you remember that. Oh, she disappeared. She pulled the John Cena on me. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. Where is? So, just be patient, everybody. It's probably just a Wi-Fi issue. Just know Dana Palooza is coming back in January. We already have guests like Lolly Popsicle, who is a burlesque enterteaser. We also have from Glow, the Royal Hawaiian, April Home. We have an author panel, so we're looking forward to the authors. Um, Other than the authors, we are also looking into some of the other guests. We have a duo panel. We have Liz Stiletto from Gorgeous Girls. We also have Batsy Von Crazy. So we've got those guests. We also got Monique Dupree, who is a wrestling valet, enjoys cosplay, actress. So we have her as well. And just a lot of other guests. We're still looking to add maybe two more. So that's currently what we're looking for. In February, we'll start planning that in January. So that's where we're kind of going. We're also looking for, um, let's see, we're going to have a couple of more panels, maybe another acting panel, maybe a panel with Heroinberg. So we're going to look and maybe have a wrestling panel. So that's pretty much everywhere that we're going to go. And welcome back.
I don't know what happened.
It might be a connection issue.
Sorry, I'm in Vegas, y'all. On
So
hotel Wi-Fi.
yeah, so I just kind of plugged stuff while you were gone. I just plugged other guests and shows and things. So
Sorry about that.
I just did filler because that's what I do to keep it going to avoid dead air.
Well, cheers to Dan the man.
Yes, cheers. Um, so we were talking about wrestling, and we've talked about watching WWE. Were you not a big fan of WCW or
Oh
Impact?
yeah. WCW, like obviously I mean, I didn't watch that much. I mean, it was fourth grade, but so
Yes.
more the Attitude Era. But I do remember ECW early, but I really didn't fall in love with it until WWE or WWF. Now
Yeah.
it's because the World Wildlife.
Yeah. Sue
Wait, I
stuff.
thought we were the same age. With hearing you talk, I'm like, wait, is he older than me? But we're both 21.
That's what my driver's license says.
Okay.
Don't ask any other questions about the age.
I didn't have a pager in school.
I did have a bag phone though, but I told people I was lifting weights and answering calls. Um, 1, 2, pound. Um, so, but as far as WCW, I know they had a couple of female wrestlers, not too many. I remember Medusa was there.
Oh, I forgot
Um,
about her.
yes, and then Asia, and she was kind of. I don't know if she was like a bodybuilder, but I know she was kind of built. Um, I remember Mona Madness. See, I'm a big Macho Man. Macho Man's one of my favorites. So when he had Team Madness and he had Mona Madness, Gorgeous George, Medusa. So we had all those wrestlers. DDP, of course. I remember the whole NWO when the Warrior came back. Also a big fan of Booker T, five-time Booker T.
Maroney.
Rooney. Can you dig that sucker? Yes, a fan of Booker T. And I have met Booker T before. He's really cool. So, but those were kind of my favorite things. And I used to flip back from channel to channel. I had one television, and I used to program it for 20 for USA and 19 for TNT.
Yeah, some of the foster homes I grew in, one was very religious. There was no TV. One had TV, so I would like try to sneak and watch it when I could.
you you didn't do like maybe the typical 80s thing, where the kids peer around, like the corner, and you see a whole bunch of heads looking around the corner. What are you doing?
Guilty as
Nothing.
charged.
Nothing. That's a 80s throwback if anybody remembers that. Then
Yeah,
always
I
in
mean
movies.
Monday Night Raw. Yeah.
Yes. And then uh so I was a fan of those. I did watch TNA kind of when it came on television, not when it first started out, like later on. I know they had that Spike TV deal, but I enjoyed AJ Styles. It's still one of my favorites is AJ Styles. Um, Jay Lethal, Black Machismo. I get a kick out of him making fun of Ric Flair, the whole thing where he's parody Ric Flair. That's one of my favorite segments. Samoa Joe, uh, just a lot of different ones. ODB you had mentioned, lots of fun. I did meet her at Remix, and oh my goodness, she fought Shayna Baszler. Which I did not think was very fair because
Yeah. She's like an
Shayna.
MMA champ.
So I see it, and it was just like punch, 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 and
It's
I was
like brawler versus boxer, well,
yeah,
fighter.
and she just punching, and I was like, roll out. Punched too many times.
Yeah.
And that was when Shayna Baszler was on the Indies before she went to WWE. So I actually talked to Shayna Baszler before then.
Oh, really? Mad
Yeah.
respect.
Yes, I met her at the wrestling show, and I don't know. For some reason, I think we did the too sweet or something like that. I don't know. People got jealous because she only did it with me and she wouldn't do it with anybody else. For some reason, like
I mean, you got charisma. You're damn the
yeah,
man.
yeah. So we had that. She said, watch my match tonight, and boy, did I watch. She's like, you see that? I'm like, I did. I'm standing over here in the sea of people.
It would be cool to see you as a hype man or an interviewer in WWE.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, it was a lot of fun. I know that I probably one of the funniest things one time is I tried to be cool and climb the top rope and I almost fell through the ropes.
Ooh. Well, when I get my own wrestling ring, you'll have to come down. I'll teach you.
Yeah. And people are like, what was that? I go, that's something we never talk about.
But it's addicting. Stepping
Yeah.
in those ropes. Ah, the first time I ran those
Yeah.
ropes. Addiction ever since.
Yeah. And so I always got a kick out of it because sometimes I wanted to take pictures and they're like, get in the ring. And I'm like, are you sure you want me to do that? I feel like I'm the last guy you want in the ring. But for him, I know I did I think it was Road Warrior Animal. So we did that. And we had the shoulder pads on when we met. Yes, yes. Actually, me and him had a talk about chili dogs for 5 minutes. So
Oh, chili dog sounds so good, right?
yeah.
Skyline. Oh my God, Skyline chili. I want some.
So we had I was eating chili dogs, and I had like two, and he's like, that sounds good, and he just went and he's like he was like eating four of them or something like that.
Gotta get that protein in.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, you win. So so there was Road Warrior Animal. I'm trying to think of Ricky Steamboat. Actually, Ricky Steamboat. When we went to meet him, like there was a child, and like he went to go say hi, and the kid just walked like right past him. He was only like 3 or 4, but he just wanted to be in the ring, so he just like Ricky went to hug him, and he just kept going, and then he went.
Oh, the kid didn't even know who he was.
No, he didn't. He's 3, so
His dad's like, all right, boy, I'm going to show you what this sport's all about.
yeah. So then I come in the ring and I was like, "Hey, man!" I went to pick up the pieces, but he was definitely really cool. Um, I just remember, and I know you've kind of wrestled in different environments. Is there one time where it was maybe unbearable? Maybe it was too cold, too hot.
Yes. I remember when my home pro wrestling school shut down, Tommy Wildfire Rich Pro
Okay.
Wrestling School in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I drove the 600 plus miles to go up where Ring of Honor was. Little did I know they were moving to Maryland. So I was still training at the old Ring of Honor dojo. We were on the top floor, and it was like, it was just, I've never done these types of things. He was like, we don't do push ups, we do Hindu push ups, which was really grateful. But his thing was the New Japan Pro Wrestling way. And I will respect him. It was just, it was hell. And so in Pennsylvania and in New Jersey, Damian Adams at Team Adams, like now it's 1,000 squats, I've been told, but it was 500 squats, bare minimum. You had to do 500 squats starting out.
No.
And my butt looked good though. I'm not complaining. I was like, hello. But
James.
yeah. Um probably either that's just a warm up. I mean, I eventually got used to it. Each because I trained with different coaches. They all have something great and then something that was like, it's a good experience. I'm sorry. Did I focus?
No, it's fine. I just remember one time where I used to live, they would have this gymnasium, and like they would have the events in the summer, and the air conditioning wouldn't work, so it would feel like it was 90 or like
Oh
100,
yes.
and we'd be like, I'd feel like my face was like melting, and like the sweat, and I'm like, I don't even know who's fighting who right now.
Oh, and that's from a spectator view. Yeah, when we're training, we have to bring multiple shirts. And me, I'd rather train in my sports bra because I am a big
Yeah.
girl. So I'm like, I have all this insulation. And they were like, no, shirt. Like I would go through 5 shirts and I would bring a towel with me and and my hair would be wet within like the first few minutes, especially like if you're training in Texas, Florida. But I was in Texas during the winter, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, like,
This would be like July and August, and they were like wooden bleacher seats. So you would be like sitting there,
and it'd be the hot. Yeah, I've done some matches. I've done some indie matches in Florida and in the Carolinas during the summer, and it's like, what's the point of putting makeup on? It's going to go off after a minute.
Oh, I know. And then there used to be hardcore wrestling around here, and they would literally bring out like the light tubes and like the tape.
Oh, deathmatch wrestling?
Yes, and it would be like 10 wrestling matches.
I'm
Not
taking guitars to the back.
yeah, and so they used to give us safety goggles because the stuff would fly.
Yeah, I'd rather take a fluorescent light than a guitar any day.
Yeah, and then I remember sometimes they used to want to bring us weapons. So I always thought that was interesting when they asked the fans to bring weapons.
Okay, what did you bring, Dan?
So one time I brought a basketball, and it was really funny because the wrestler liked it because he was like do do do, like driven to the legs, and then it was like dodgeball. Like he just shoved it and hit the guy in the back, and he was like ah. He was you're out, and then he did like the thing. So I thought that was really cool. I brought license plates sometimes.
Ooh, those things can get sharp around the edges now, there, partner.
Just like the standard small ones. I know, like, because I used to go with a friend of mine, and his grandma would go. She's like, I bought kitchen supplies, and she would bring like a cheese grater. She's like, here's a
Oh,
pizza cutter. I'm like, you're really twisted.
apple doesn't fall far from the tree. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I'm like, we need to go shopping more. But there was that, and I forget what else I brought one time. But I remember the basketball, and people popped for the basketball, especially because the guy knew how to dribble and spin it on his finger.
Ooh, mad respect.
Yeah. And some of us were like, doo, 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 doo. So that was fun. And then he like threw it and hit the guy right in the back. Although it was kind of deflated, so it didn't have, so I mean, that's kind of like why I get it, because it was really worn away. But yeah, he hit him right in the back. Like he chucked it like a lawn dart, and you heard a big smack, and he fell down. And I was like, that was mine. But yeah, it was cool because they had like a Queen of the Ring tournament. So they had like 10 girls fighting for a crown. This was like in 2016. So like none of us had seen like women's wrestling. So like for it to be locally and just match after match instead of, the special attraction. So, and that was in May, and they had it in an old movie theater. Like there was like an old kind of rundown movie theater, and so they would use the concession stands, and then the movie theater they would set up the ring, and and they took all the movie chairs out. So I always
Yeah,
thought,
I know when I did ring crew for Ring of Honor, they would do that. Some of the old theaters,
mm-hmm.
they would exactly what you said.
So it was definitely good times. I know you dream of having your school there. Do you plan on just working like with individuals or tag teams, or are you
Oh,
looking to?
all of the above. I
Yeah,
want to make it like a 501c so people don't have to pay, because it's always money. Like, oh, I can't go because I don't have money. And I'm like, you know what?
yeah.
Let me just make it free for everyone. And then, hopefully eventually get a little indie promotion going.
There you go.
And you're going to have to come down and
Yeah.
wrestle.
Ring the bell. Ding
I have
ding
to give you
ding.
the coal mine clothesline, the mountain slam.
I'll go my back. Be my selling.
Very good selling, sir.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, so, so is there anything that goes in your head, like, kind of like when you're wrestling? Are you somebody who can just go and feel out, like what is going to happen, or are you somebody that kind of like plans everything beforehand?
When I first started out, no, I was nervous. But now I feel like I can feel somebody out.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. Just another connection issue. So, um, I hope everyone's having a Merry Christmas. And we're back.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Wi-Fi hotel.
I was wishing Merry Christmas. So, uh, Um,
Well, Merry Christmas, Dan the man.
thank you.
Is
So
there a
you were
mistletoe?
just
Kisses.
um, so we were talking, and you said you used to kind of like um, kind of maybe plan stuff out when you were starting, but now you just kind of feel it out.
Oh yeah, yeah. It just depends. Like if I've never wrestled a girl before, I'm like, let me see if you know how to do this. If she knows like the basics, like like the three basics, like
Yeah.
shine, cut off, come back, and build a storyline, like know her signature moves, mine, and create a story. But the ones on the fly are always the best. Me
Oh yeah.
personally.
I feel like that's the way to be. Um, I know. One time, there's been one time that I've been involved in a match one time, and nobody told me.
Wait,
So
so you have been in the ring more than
no,
just taking pictures?
it was outside the ring, and
No one told you?
no one told me, and
Are you
so
okay?
yeah, I'm fine. I I was like, that was not normal. And like, um, so what happened was there were two indie guys fighting, and he had grabbed the one guy and he wanted to give people nuggies, and like, so everybody was doing it. We're all doing the nuggie thing, because he's got him in the head thing. And so eventually he did something where he was kind of like talking with me and did that. And then he pushed me, and he pushed me into the other wrestlers. So that way he like fell over. And I kind of just went, and I think I just kind of went,
You
and
took
like
one from the for the team. You're a good sport, Dan.
and so like and so he like pulled me up, and he looked at me, and it was like the go get him, and everything, because I'm not gonna go get him. So he went back in there, but people were like, "You okay?" And I go, "This is new to me." But
Uh,
they told me later, they're like, yeah, we were talking about, who we could use in the audience and plant, and, kind of get some heat on blah, blah, blah. And we decided to pick you, and da, 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 da. They told me this later, and I would have liked to have known, because I would have told. I'm glad you picked me. But yeah, I did. I got pushed one time, and I pushed the other wrestler down because I bumped into him. But I didn't do that. And it kind of had like a stare down. People were like, "Go get him, Dan!" And like, so it was really funny. That was when we had that event has kind of shut down, but it was good. So but we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here on Dana Palooza. I'd like to thank my guest, the wonderful and talented pro wrestler and amateur boxer, Jess Barnes, uh, making us 84 guests on Dana Palooza for 2022, making it 132 guests since May 2021. 9 to 10 guests in January of 2023. Danapalooza keeps rolling on. Everybody, Merry Christmas, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy New Year. We'll see you in the new year. Take care.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
And